Have you ever heard of a long-running franchise called Touhou? If not, I will let you know that it is a long-running piece of shit. Oh sorry, that was the review I started to write whenever I was mad at the game. Do not let that scare you, however, because things change when you start to understand the game. Touhou is a series that has been around forever, and the latest game, Touhou 18 Unconnected Marketeers, was released in May 2021 on Steam. Even if it is the 18th game in the series, it can be entirely enjoyed without any prior knowledge of previous games. This review is aimed at people that aren't very familiar with Touhou, just like myself. So, let's talk about if you should play Touhou 18 or not. Because even my cat's interested, and you should be too. For anyone that haven't played Touhou games before, they are shoot-em-up games where you control your character of choice, going from stage to stage in a linear fashion, and have to dodge bullets on the screen while you're shooting down all the enemies. In this game, you're collecting red squares that provides more power, yellow ones that provide money. It might sound easy on paper, but if you have even the slightest look on the gameplay footage that is currently on screen, you'll understand that you're in need of both a hawk vision as well as reflexes of steel to fully master the game. These games are described with the tag bullet hell for a reason. With that stated, however, you do not need to be good at the game from the beginning in order to enjoy it. Even if you're only able to advance a few minutes into the game before a game over, the charm comes from just challenging the whole thing again and again and learning the patterns. This is also where one of the strengths of this game comes into play, the new ability card mechanic that makes replaying the game over and over that much more enjoyable. Let me explain it. In Touhou 18, roguelike mechanics have been introduced. You're able to gather ability cards in the game that changes the way your different playthroughs end up. During the runs, you can collect money from defeated enemies, which can be used to purchase cards after defeating bosses at the end of every stage. Those comes in different forms. Some cards add passive features like new type of bullets or better item pickup radius. Others give you active abilities, like removing a few bullets in front of you with a button press. The cards appear somewhat randomly, so you have to combine and make use of the ones that appear and are affordable for you in your current run. When you have unlocked a card by purchasing it, it's also in most cases available for you to choose as a starter card. Those cards will always be available for your future runs, but you can only select a few of them. And I love to grow the collection like this. Growing the collection of starter cards that you can use to make up for your weaknesses as a player is really addicting and adds a lot of replayability to this game. In the game, 4 different characters are available, which has a varied way of attacking with different pros and cons each. All characters have 2 different shooting types, one where they move around very quickly and shoot, and one where holding down a button makes movement much more precise and also alters the shooting mechanic. My favorite character, Sanae, has a homing laser light type of shooting when moving precisely, which fits my playstyle. In this video, you will almost only see gameplay captured with her, because I suck with the rest. Another character, Raymond, are able to shoot homing cards when she moves around quickly, but only shoots forward when moving precisely instead. Having such a different array of characters to enjoy the game with, coupled together with the spell cards, gives a lot of control to the player on how to play the game. If you played the game before, let me know in the comments which character is your favorite and why. The game is divided into multiple difficulties, and the true goal of each difficulty is to complete them without using any continues. The gameplay loop of Touhou 18 is thus to just get as far as you can in the game, learn the patterns of both regular enemies and bosses, and when you die, you will reuse your prior knowledge to hopefully push a little further next time. This gameplay loop is absolutely not for everyone, but for the ones that do enjoy it, it is an extremely satisfying experience to overcome a boss you thought were impossible the first time around. When dying from something that you obviously could have dodged, rage quitted the game and thought yourself, I will never play this game again, you would be surprised by how you, the next day, want to challenge it all again. There do exist a story in the game which I personally feel takes a backseat in comparison to the gameplay of the game. The characters' banter between each other can be a fun distraction through the first couple of playthroughs, but you quickly start to skip them after a few times. In this case, I can imagine having played more games in the series would add more to the enjoyment of the story. What actually made me look into the Touhou series again after many years away from it was by hearing the music when I saw others play it. There are unique tracks for all the stages and every boss in the game. As a complete package, Touhou 18 is one of the soundtracks I've enjoyed the most during 2021, and I need to let you hear some of it. Here are a few seconds from one of the boss themes that got me hooked on the game initially. If you've been in contact with the Touhou games before, you more or less already know what kind of experience you will get. If you like any other entry in the series, you will most likely enjoy Touhou 18 as well. If you're also a fan of the shoot 'em up genre, this game is a huge recommendation from my side. But for the rest of you, it's a lot more complicated in case this is your first outing with the genre, or any Touhou games for that matter. In the end, you need both patience and discipline in order to learn all the patterns, and it is gonna take time to get through it all. But as long as you're enjoying the ride like I did and don't see every game over as an obstacle but rather as progress, you will find enjoyment in this game. Just let yourself know that dying is part of the process. Oh, and just a comment to anyone that would like to buy the game on Steam. The game is originally in Japanese and you need to use a translation patch in order to enjoy it in any other language. I'll link to that in the description down below. As always, thank you so much for checking this video out. If you do like this type of content, check out my other videos on the channel. If you want to support me and see this channel grow, giving this video a like and writing in the comments helped me out a lot. Thank you for taking your time to do that. Now, have a Touhoulicious day, everyone.